Hey everybody, welcome back to Culz Book Reviews. Now first off, I want to start off by saying I do apologize. I had meant to give this one out much earlier than we are getting it out currently. As you can probably tell in the title, probably around Christmas time, and of course it's almost the end of February, so apologies there. I just fell a little bit behind on doing book reviews, and I still wanted to get this one out. I always want to share with you guys what we're reading. Sometimes it's just for fun, Sometimes you need that little break between research books or some of the books you just read for episodes, right? And being that it was around Christmas when I had read this, I thought it was, quite fitting considering it was called A Cowboy Christmas. And so, yeah, we are checking out A Cowboy Christmas, An American Tale by Tom Van Dyke. And I thought it would go well this week, being that we did talk with James Townsend on Monday. And we'll be doing our Django deep dive on Friday, so it's kind of a Western theme week, so why not? A little background on how I found this one. We actually were at the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame here in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and they have a little gift shop, as I'm sure you guys expect when you go to some of these places, and they had a nice little autographed book section, and this was one of those books, and of course I enjoy collecting those autographed editions, and I was looking for something at the time to read around Christmas, and hey, this one kind of looked like it was fun. It was also not too big, and I said, hey, let's get into it, and that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to talk about A Cowboy Christmas. Alright, so starting off up top, we have A Cowboy Christmas, An American Tale. Nice gold font against the red of the book cover. Here we have like a kind of gold, and it is lifted, and it's a cowboy getting bucked off a horse, it looks like here. And then down below we got the author's name, Tom Van Dyke. And just kind of a simple red cover, but I think it works really well. Like, honestly, I really enjoy that. And on the side we got a little star up top, A Cowboy Christmas by Tom Van Dyke. And on the back, I mean, that gold just looks so nice against the red background. Yeah, just a little bit about the book, I guess, to get you interested, as most books try, correct? And at the end of the book, there is your about an author. You can read all about it here if you want to pause it, or honestly just go pick up the book. Now, the book runs for 162 pages, which you guys might be like, does it? There's no number there. But if you go back just one page, you see the page before was 161. And so that means in total 162 pages that you could read. And as you can see, it's just a lot of writing. No pictures or anything outside of the beginning. There is the cover art. You can see a little bit more detail in this one. And definitely see the cowboy getting bucked off there. And like I said, this one was a signed copy by the author Tom Van Dyke. So always excited to add another one to the collection. Alright, so since the book itself isn't very long, I suppose my review won't be very long either. I don't want to ruin anything or spoil anyone that does want to go in and read this. Like I said, I had picked this one up not really knowing a whole lot, other than I kind of thought it took place around Christmas and was about a cowboy. And I found it at the Hall of Fame sign, like I said at the beginning. Kind of getting into it at the very start, I will say I wasn't very impressed. It moved very fast in a way where I wish it was slowed down quite substantially or fleshed out a little bit better. And this is early on, like I'm saying. There's a scene where WB, our kind of main protagonist, is running away from rustlers and Native Americans and a bear, and it all happens like back to back, and it didn't seem realistic. I mean, obviously that stuff could happen, right? But it just felt so back to back, and there's no time for it to breathe. There's no time for you to feel like any connection or any fear on the one situation, because you're moving on so quickly to the next. And so when I was first starting reading it, I was a little worried, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, ooh, if it goes like this, I don't think I'm going to enjoy it at all, because I like, even if a book is short, just flesh it out, that's what I was asking for. And I do feel like as the story progresses, it slows down, and you don't see as many of those kind of crazy unrealistic-ish situations happening, and more of the situations have time to breathe a tad. Because of the book length, obviously any situation is going to move faster than a book that's twice the length. And so my one, I guess, main takeaway is I wish it was a tad longer or even double the length. You know, if it was pushing 250, maybe even 300 pages, just to give more time for the story to develop, I think it would have panned out a lot better on my review at least. Now, having said that, like I said, it does slow down and it gives us more time with the kind of two main characters, WB and Jenny. And this is kind of like our love story that we're seeing between WB and Jenny. And they've been separated early on in the book, and they're always trying to find each other, but always so close yet so far. And it kind of starts to make you wonder, will they ever find each other? Like, you feel like they will, but at one point I'm like, I don't know, maybe they won't ever. Or like, one will find the other and one had moved on. And I'm not going to spoil what happens, but I will say the character stuff gets better as the story progresses. It slows down. It gives a little bit more time to breathe. You know, like it says, Cowboy Christmas. Christmas does come into play. We see so many fun things from the West. There's mining towns. There's just like small little kind of ghost towns, right? Where people, I should say ghost towns today, but very lively, bustly towns back in the day. And so you get to see those. You get to see the wagon trail. You get to see riding the open range. There's even a ghost rider, perhaps. You know, I don't want to spoil too much, but yeah, I think as the story progresses, it gets better. I will say it swayed me. The more I read it, the more I wanted to keep reading it. And so, you know, that's why I always try to push through. I will say, if I had stopped, my review would have been highly different. But yeah, like I said, just a little critique at the beginning, but it gets better. And because I did read this, when was it? 2 days before Christmas into Christmas Eve. You know, it was snowing here. Just such a fun, I guess, time to read this book. And so I will say I enjoyed it. Perhaps not my favorite book of all time, but for a quick read and a book I really knew nothing about, it turned out a lot better than it had started. So overall, I still recommend it. I'd say probably like a 6.5, 6.7 out of 10. It's still pretty decent, but kind of looking at the other books we've read, I don't know if I could read it before those, but it's one, especially with the length, I could come back to. And maybe when I come back to it and having already read it, kind of knowing what happens, my thoughts will change. And, you know, if they change drastically, I will do an updated review. But yeah, for now, I think 6.5, 6.7 out of 10. It's a pretty good range. I still do recommend it, especially if you want something quick. Say you're just looking for something fun to read on like a weekend and you're into the West, or if you are coming up to the Christmas time and want to kind of get into that Western Christmas spirit. As of now, I only see the one title listed for Tom Van Dyke, but I would say I would read another book by Tom. So that's saying something. I definitely would at least go into this one. Go check it out. If you're in Colorado, and you're in Colorado Springs specifically, go to the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame. They have some signed copies, or they did. I don't know if they'll last forever, but as of late 2023, they still did. So yeah, there's my review for A Cowboy Christmas American Tale. Stay tuned, like I said, more book reviews on the way. But until next time, guys, for more Culz book reviews, click that link to your left. For more about what we're doing here at Culz Paranormal, click that link to your right. And don't forget to hit that like and give us a subscribe. And let us know if you've read A Cowboy Christmas. What were your thoughts? Tell us in the comments below.